Now, as it turns out, Kelly is not who I am. Kelly is just the name that they gave to me to refer to me. And having been a teacher, a professor for a number of years, I have had the distinct pleasure of being called a lot of different names. But you see, none of those names define who I am. In fact, they say more about the other person than they do about me. Now, almost immediately after my encounter with the old man, maybe like 3 months, I started going through that awkward teenage phase. That phase that we have all gone through. And if you are the parents of teenagers, this is the phase where they are impossible to live with, which really is kind of every teenage phase. But this one is the discovery phase. This is the one where we try to figure out who we are, what we represent, and where we fit into this life. And when I hit that stage in my life, shortly after my encounter with the old man, it was actually the old man and his words that came back to me. The sooner you figure it out, the better off you'll be. And so at that time, I made a conscious decision to figure it out quickly so that I could move on with my life. And you know what? It worked. I was able to take a stand. This is who I am. This is what I'm going to represent. And then I watched all of my friends jump back and forth over fences trying to figure out who they were. You see, we as humans change. We develop, we evolve. And so every couple years, we need to reevaluate and reassess who we are, what we represent, and where we fit into this life. I'm going to be 55 next month, and I'm still going through these stages. I still have to reassess who I am. But think about those years as a teenager. 14, 16, 18, 21, 25. Those are pivotal years for a growing teen, right? There's a lot of stuff going on in a teenager's life then. But every time I hit one of those stages through my teens, it was the old man and his words that showed up to me. The sooner you figure it out, the better off you'll be. And I did that every single time. Now I'm continuing to tell the story of the old man. But the old man began to reframe himself in his story. Somewhere in my early 20s, the old man moved from being the crazy old drunk guy to being somewhat of a hero for me. Because it was in those times when I was feeling lost and needing to be found that the old man showed up. And then I realized that I had been using the old man's words as a tool to help me through these stages. Now, if you guys had a tool that you could use anytime, anywhere, any day, every day, that would allow you to change your life like that, would you use it? Heck yeah, we would be silly not to, right? Now, in order for this tool to be effective, though, it would cause us to have to reframe part of our own life. Now, reframing by itself is a powerful, powerful tool. Reframing, a properly reframed tool, is super easy to use, super efficient, and super effective. Proper reframing can eliminate depression and anxiety really pretty quickly. We can rid your life of fears, phobias, traumas, anything you want to change in your life. Reframing will do that. Now, in the next hour or so, if I can teach you a tool that would allow you to reframe so you could change your life like that, would you be in? Excellent. Everybody turn to your neighbors and say, today I am changing my life. Everybody go. And what you all perceive is a bottle of water. Except that this bottle of water looks, tastes, feels, smells different to each of us. No two people will perceive the same thing the same way. I mean, consider the label on this bottle of water. It's a blue label. It's a shade of blue I've seen 1,000,000 times in my life. There's nothing odd about it. When you guys see that shade of blue, it's not a strange shade of blue. What is strange, though, is that when we all look at that label, that blue, we all see a different shade of blue. Science has proven that. If we all see a different shade of blue, that would suggest that this singular shade of blue doesn't even exist. It's not real. If it were real, it would be truth. If it were truth, it would be universal. And if it were universal, we would all see the same shade of blue. But we don't. Science has proven that. You see, reality doesn't even really exist. What does exist is our perceptions of real-life events. Perceiving is believing. When we perceive something, remember, take in something through our senses. When we perceive something, our wonderful brains begin to go to work. And they will rearrange the world to create a reality based on whatever it is we just perceived.